I'm giving away this championship belt once I hit 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead and click subscribe today. Welcome back to the Ango Show. I, of course, am Ango, and today we got a big one. I really wanted to kick things off with some Deadlock Pro Wrestling news. I am very happy about this one because the grizzled young veterans, it didn't take long, right? They got out of contract, and now they are here. They made their first appearance. Some very cool stuff here. Deadlock Pro Wrestling had an open challenge, which was essentially a proving ground match. And essentially the way that it works is if you win the match, you get a future shot at the DPW Tag Team Championships. This is very similar to what AEW was doing, ROH, WWE. They were all doing like these, if you could beat the champion, you get a championship match. Really cool thing here, though, is DPW Live 3 had the Workhorsemen defend the championships with a surprise, and then out came grizzled young veterans. And guys, the cool thing is they actually won in this match. Now, prior to them showing up to Deadlock Pro Wrestling, they actually posted a really cool video package on Twitter. And with that video package, it was really cool because they were just like, look, no overproduction, no camera lens, contact lens, no this, no that. Like, we are professional wrestlers, and they mean business. They're in their suits. Zach Gibson has his beard again, no contact lenses, right? James Drake is like, these guys look really good, like they were before WWE. They look very reminiscent of NXT UK versus NXT 2.0 when they became the dyad. So for them to go to Deadlock, it's an awesome thing. And it's cool that we didn't have to wait long to see these guys, because I think for a very long time, we have kind of waited to see, what they would do immediately after WWE NXT. And the cool thing is, when in situations like this, when you're a good tag team, there are plenty of places to work. And if you look at Deadlock, what they've done with their tag team division, it's incredible. But when you also look at Impact and what they've done with their tag team division, it's incredible. And there's a lot of things that people don't realize with wrestling. And it's like, I understand that WWE is the biggest company, and I understand that AEW is the second biggest company, but not everybody needs to be there. And right now, the biggest thing that you need to keep in mind is that WWE is going after indie talents again. And we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute. But yeah, great stuff for the GYV, man. I'm really excited about that, and I hope everything works out well for them. And who knows, maybe they will become the next Deadlock Pro Tag Team Champions. Guys, WWE has decided to remove Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson from TV. There is a reason for this. For those who didn't know, Luke Gallows is actually out with an injury. And according to sources, multiple sources have actually come out and confirmed this. I know Ringside News, which I don't really talk about Ringside News, but what they have said about Carl Anderson is kind of essentially been what I've heard as well, which is the fact that Carl Anderson and the club really won't be doing much together as a group until Luke Gallows comes back. So Carl Anderson's probably not going to be a singles competitor or anything of that nature. So therefore, they've been removed from TV. Now, with that being said, I really, really, really want to make this point, and I think it's important that I make this point because I like Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, but since they've come back to WWE, WWE hasn't done much with them. And I know that WWE is starting to put another emphasis on the tag team division again. We're starting to see it resurge with Triple H taking over creative control 100%. I think that is the most important thing here, is that when Luke Gallows is back from injury, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, go after the tag team championship belts. And with AJ Styles leading the group and Mia Yim involved, I would also like to see Mia Yim heavily involved in the women's title picture. I think this is a great group to have. I think we have seen some really cool stuff happen in recent months, especially when you consider the Bloodline and the Judgment Day are fantastic. But now you have Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, and they're fantastic. This is a group that needs to be highlighted. I feel like WWE has dropped the ball with them since their return. I understand that things have gotten in the way, and now an injury has gotten in the way. But if I'm the WWE, I would start to really begin planning major plans for the OC, especially when you consider that Mia Yim is involved. We want Mia Yim on TV. We want her wrestling. She's a fantastic performer. And the cool thing is, if you have Mia Yim and the OC running wild on the main roster, it's just going to make fanfare go crazy. It's the fan reactions will be insane, because at the end of the day, WWE has showing us that with these factions, there is tons of potential success. And I love the idea of factions battling within each other. And now we're even seeing the Bloodline and the Judgment Day kind of team up. We got War Games coming soon. That's a very good thing for WWE to have, but you got to do more of it, right? People are excited about it. You got to do more of it. And it's okay to form other groups, but this is already an established group. And that's the point that I need to make, is it's an established group that could be something very special. I know some people might talk about age and whatnot, but none of that really matters at all as long as you're still building up other stars. So at the end of the day, this is one of those things I would prefer to see, and I hope it happens relatively soon. Hopefully Luke Gallows gets cleared. I don't like the idea of these guys being off of television. It seems like they haven't been on television much since even joining back with the company, and I get it, they're getting paid, and they're probably getting paid well, but I don't want to see WWE run into another issue where they hire too many people. And really, that's the big thing, right? If you look at 2020 and 2021, like this hiring surge during COVID was insane, and we don't need to see that again. But unfortunately, it seems like WWE could be doing that again, and that's why I want to talk about this. So we know that Tony Khan has been very, very vocal about AEW being, having their talents tampered with. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select came out and he confirmed that there was 2 situations that Tony Khan personally took, and he didn't like it, right? And one was Swerve Strickland. So basically, Swerve Strickland signed a multi-year deal on pay-per-view for a Hit Row reunion. He was one of the people that WWE allegedly tried contract tampering with, but he reportedly referred WWE or WWE's talent relations person to his lawyer. And then there was another instance when Tony Khan's mother was in the hospital, and while his mother was in the hospital, it became abundantly clear that WWE had tampered and spoken to William Regal. They offered him a new role that they already had prepared, so that's why he took it personal for those. And it makes a lot of sense, honestly, when you think of these 2 names, right? Swerve Strickland right now is getting this massive push, and he's being absolutely handled incredibly well. I love what Swerve Strickland is doing in AEW. The fact that WWE couldn't remotely do anything like this with him is insane, because this guy is just so incredibly talented and it's working very well. This guy should be an AEW world champion. I said he and Keith Lee should be world champions in AEW when they signed with AEW, and for a while it didn't seem that way. Now I fully believe that AEW has Swerve Strickland becoming the guy that can potentially become world champion. And then also, you got to think, right? WWE is doing tryouts and they're bringing indie talent in. So not only would WWE want AEW talent, but they want indie wrestlers. And WWE could be kind of going away from what they were doing, where it was just strictly college athletes. That doesn't appear to be the case anymore. And if WWE's contract tampering, like these reports and like Tony Khan is saying, yeah, that's bad. But also on the flip side too, I think there are people making arguments that maybe it's happening on the other side as well. And that's unfortunate if it is the case. But both of these companies run a business. They're going to be sharing a lot of the same talent pool. People are going to become free agents and switch companies. At the end of the day, I hope WWE and AEW can really just focus on putting on the best possible product, because when it's all the other stuff, I think that's when it becomes an issue. If WWE wants to hire a whole bunch of indie wrestlers and shit, that's cool, but make sure you're not doing what you did in 2020 and 2021 when you were hiring people and then literally releasing like all of them because of the pandemic and financial stuff and all this BS, right? Hire people, use people, bring them into NXT, call up people from NXT to the main roster, make a seamless process. It's all going to work out well. Just like somebody here could potentially win this championship at 100K. So go ahead and click subscribe today.